I'll be with you this evening, and I hope you're having a good time. And I'd just like to say, hello again after all these years. And, I hope you remember the time we met when we were doing George's album, and I sent my car to get you, and you found all those country tapes in my car, and half of them weren't missing. And, we ended up doing an album together, and I had a fine time. And I've still got my copy. I hope you've got yours. And have a wonderful evening, and that's about all I can say, so it's over to Chips.
Hello, Pete. Hope you remember the time that you and I taught Larry Butler how to play piano.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still wondering if you're ever going to cut one of my songs. And wish I could be there with you tonight.
So do I. Pull out to a two-shot. And we'll wave goodbye.
And we'll wave.
See you later.
Controversy continues over yesterday's column by Rita Grimsley Johnson in the Commercial Appeal. As News 3 told you first yesterday, Johnson wrote about Ringo Starr, who's been in Memphis cutting an album with record producer Chips Moman. Johnson called Ringo an aging Beatle, who is yesterday's news. Natalie Allen reports Moman was ready to pack up and leave Memphis yesterday, but decided not to quit, and today took his anger to the streets.
I mean, that's the thing that this paper's doing, is stopping people from coming here with this kind of trash.
Chips Moman led the way for some 100 marchers that picketed in front of the Commercial Appeal late this afternoon to protest yesterday's column in the newspaper.
It was a straw that broke the camel's back. It was just finally enough, and that was it.
We have a potential in Memphis relative to music that's untouched in this country. Yet if we cannot get the support from the only daily newspaper, it makes it very difficult for us to go out and demonstrate how this community, in fact, can be successful in something like the music industry.
People associated with Memphis music believe yesterday's column was not only a slam against Ringo Starr, but their work to get Memphis music spinning again.
They don't realize that music is as big an industry in this town as cotton, as anything else. And I just don't think it's treated that way.
But we're here because we feel we're right. And I hate to see this paper slander people like it has, and especially people who come to town to work. We don't need this paper hurting people's feelings who come to this town to do work.
Commercial Appeal editor David Brown says today's rally is funny and sad that so much attention is being given to a column he labels marvelous. And he adds there is much more to this than meets the eye. He thinks something else caused Moman to get this upset.
Protesters here don't expect any changes to come from the Commercial Appeal, but on a positive note, they say if anything came out of this, it brought the Memphis music industry closer together. Natalie Allen, News 3, downtown.
By the way, late this afternoon, the City Council unanimously approved a resolution recognizing Ringo Starr for his contribution to the music industry and welcoming the former Beatle to Memphis.
And reports on a protest held today in front of the newspaper offices.
Music producer Chips Moman led about 50 marchers in front of the Commercial Appeal in support of Memphis music. Protesters carried signs saying "Malice towards music" and "We love Ringo." The references were to an article in the newspaper which called Ringo the least talented of the Beatles, who was aging and is yesterday's news.
We bring an artist into town and he gets slandered the minute he gets here. We don't need the newspaper's help. We just don't need their hurt.
What message are you delivering to the newspaper in Memphis?
Well, for one thing, I'm trying to deliver a message to Mr. Brown, firstly, that this newspaper owes Memphis musicians an apology because he's costing them work in this city.
The Commercial Appeal's executive editor called the demonstration a tempest in a teapot. But an Arizona musician who's recording an album in Memphis instead of Nashville says he came here because of a musical resurgence he'd heard of, and this is more than a minor slap in the face.
I'm surprised that they published it with so much effort being put into making Memphis music, bringing it back to what it used to be when Sun was here and everything. And Sun is still here, and they're redoing Sun, but it seems like they're pulling at two ends of the rope. They're not going to get anywhere unless they work together.
Ralliers signed a letter to Ringo encouraging him to finish his current album in Memphis. Even the City Council got into the act by passing a resolution applauding Ringo's musical contributions and welcoming him to Memphis. Those who turned out say they want to drown out a few sour notes by showing Memphis can work in harmony. Alan Byrne, 13 Eyewitness News.
To further complicate Moman's business is a $62,000 lawsuit that was filed against him today. W.D. George Construction Company claims Moman owes the money for labor, materials, and services for work done on Moman's recording studio at 200 Linden. Moman declined to comment on the lawsuit, saying it's being handled by his attorney.
To record in this studio with this man and these musicians and singers.
The editor of the Commercial Appeal, David Brown, tells News 3 he is pleased with Johnson's work, and he says the article served as a reminder of who Ringo is. Ringo was so impressed with Moman's facility here and Memphis, he had talked with George Harrison about taking part in the final recording session here. But Moman says he's doubtful even Ringo now will come back to Memphis to finish the album. Moman says he's trying to do good things for Memphis music, but he adds incidents like this make him wonder about Memphis' future.
I don't have to follow no instructions from anyone. And I thought about leaving, but I am not leaving because I realized this morning that I had some friends here. And excuse me, and I will stay because of that. And I will finish this job, and there's no damn newspaper going to stop me.
Natalie Allen, News 3, downtown.
Moman talked with News 3 this afternoon after kicking a reporter and a photographer from the Commercial Appeal out of his studio. Only the paper's music reporter was allowed to stay. And News 3 has just learned that Chips Moman, Tony Wine, and a large group of Memphis musicians, singers, and other supporters of Memphis music will picket in front of the Commercial Appeal tomorrow at 4 in the afternoon.
Fresh look outside. Inside, the atmosphere is stale.
It hurts this city that a personality comes to this town and is mistreated by its newspaper for no reason.
The article, written by Retta Grimsley Johnson, is about Ringo Starr, who has been in Memphis recording an album with Moman. She calls the former Beatle a has-been, the least talented of the other band members, an aging Beatle who is
Get your picture here.
Can't be on the table. I'm trying to get her in here.
I don't intend to stay here by taking this kind of stuff off the people. I'm in business here, and when people start hurting my business, I'm going to fight back.
He was so thrilled.